Hey guys, welcome back to Blessed Little Nest. Today I'm going to show you how I turned this $20 find into a beautiful whitewashed brides and grooms table for a friend. She started working on it on her own at home. She used citrus stripper to start stripping off all the stain. But with wedding planning, as you all know, it can get hectic and busy. So I offered to help her finish the table. As you can see, there was still a lot more stain that needed to be stripped off the legs and off the table itself, especially around the sides. The top is veneer, so it's not real wood as the sides are, so it was a bit trickier to get it to like a smooth texture without stripping too much of it. There are many different paint strippers out there, but this citrus strip is just very affordable, so that's what we went with. And I used my plastic wrap. So I started by just putting the paint stripper on the sides of the table and covering it with plastic. And I let that sit for about an hour. So the top ended up having a lot of scratches in it, deep scratches, so I had to use my plastic wood. I like using the plastic wood because it dries quickly and you don't have to mix it. So I just used a little spatula to fill in all of the scratches. After I was done filling in all of the holes and once it dried, I took out my 220 grit paper, sanding paper, and sanded down the top lightly. Next, I started working on the legs. I had to use the citrus strip as well. Because of the grooves, I had to use an old paintbrush to spread it all in. Once I covered it with citrus strip, I then wrapped it with plastic wrap and just let it sit for a few hours. Within a few minutes, you can already tell that it was taken off the stain. After about 4 hours, I decided to uncover them and see what they look like. So as you can tell, that most of the stain had started like stripping away, but I decided that it might be easier because it was like a sticky residue. It might be easier to use my little pressure washer, pressure wash them first before using a sander or a scraper. Using a low setting, I started pressure washing all of the legs. You don't want to use a high pressure because it'll start stripping pieces of the wood off. Most of the stain was coming off pretty easy, but then there were still some spots that I guess I didn't let sit long enough with the stripper. So after I was done pressure washing all of them, I took a piece of sandpaper and just hand sanded down all of the legs just to finish it and make it a smooth finish. After a few hours of working on the legs, I was ready to go back inside the garage to start working on the tabletop. So what I'm using is a wood stain. It's a very light antique white color wood stains. My goal was to lighten up the top as much as I could with this wood stain. At first I just applied it to one side just to see the difference. So here you can see the difference between the side that I stained it and the side that I didn't. It lightened up the wood so much, which it just looked so beautiful, but the bride did want it a little whiter. So I applied the stain on the other side using an old rag, and I kind of just spread it in, making sure that it was on evenly. So if this is the look that you're going for, you want to just apply this white antique stain, and you have the look that you're looking for. You want to make sure that it's applied evenly so that you don't have any darker spots. So I did put the same stain on the sides of the table and on the legs of the table. And so this was the result of the stain on the legs. The bride wanted it lighter, so I took my chalk paint and I used about 2 spoons to about a cup of water and just mixed that in real well to make a whitewash. Once it was mixed really well, I took a paintbrush and kind of just started painting on the whitewash. So once you put some paint on, because the brush leaves strips, I use an old rag to kind of just spread that in. So this is what I did throughout the entire table. I would put some of the paint on and then just go over it with a rag. On the sides, I did the whitewash as well, about 2 or 3 layers of the whitewash. I would let it dry and then go over it again. And the legs needed a few more layers as well, as you can tell. So after applying about 3 layers total, this is the final result. Once you're done painting, you can use this polyurethane. I use the triple thick one just because it's dries 3 times faster, and you don't have to do as many layers. So I only did 2 layers on the top and then just 1 layer on the sides. And there you guys have it. Thank you guys so much for watching me turn this $20 Facebook find into a beautiful whitewashed vintage perfect table for a bride and groom. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to comment down below and make sure to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Blessed Little Nest.